everybody. Welcome to Cartwheels and Banana Peels, funny tales from women entrepreneurs. We are sitting around my virtual kitchen table today, and I have some amazing ladies to share some really good stories with you. Oh my gosh. So let's dive right in because we like to keep these shows short and sweet. So, Monica, I'm going to pass the baton to you. Will you please tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Maria. I am an intuitive business astrologer and mentor. Really, I'm a spiritual teacher and healer at heart. I help women entrepreneurs really trust themselves and get super clear with their communication through astrology. So that's
fantastic. Love it. Pauline, it is your turn, my dear.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Pauline Ryeland, Intimacy Whisperer, and I work as an intimacy, sex and libido coach and educator. So I work with individuals, singles and or couples around any problems that they might be experiencing around intimacy, sex, libido, relationships and anything and everything in between.
Excellent. We all need that. All right, Helen, your turn.
Hi, I'm Helen Fernald, and I invite motherless daughters on a very heartfelt journey using the power of mindfulness, meditation, and nature and letter writing so that they can not only find acceptance around this deep loss, but also so that they can create a life that honors their mothers.
And I want you guys to take note before we dive into the stories, because there's some serious topics here. But we are going to share some entertaining, chuckle-worthy, full-blown belly laugh stories that you can still tell, even though what you do in the world may seem or be very serious. Okay, so hang on. I'm Jaycie Cormack, of course. I am your storytelling rebel and story coach, and obviously the host of Cartwheels and Banana Peels. We're going to have one heck of a good time today. Let's dive into these stories. I'm passing the baton once again back. You know, maybe we should pass the bottle of wine or something instead of a baton. But anywho, I don't know. Monica?
All
right, Monica.
So I joke around a lot that I had the most luxurious homeless life. I say that I had that it was just very luxurious, and by that I mean I think so. I spent about 18 months without a home, living out of a roller suitcase in 2017, and I have to say I think I only slept on a sofa maybe 2-3 times. I got my own room in like a New York City Soho loft with a jacuzzi. A friend sponsored a trip to Bali, and a stranger I just met said, I'm leaving to go to Australia and you can stay in my villa, and gave me the keys to her entire villa. So wow. I joke about it because looking back in hindsight, it wasn't a fun time. However, it really did teach me how to have faith and just know that no matter what, as terrible the situation might be, there was always a sense that I am being taken care of. So that's my big joke.
Oh my gosh, I love it though. That's so, I just want to go, how? I want to see, this is the key. You're starting conversation because I'm totally wanting to have a conversation around it. So I love it. Excellent. That's amazing. So cool. All right, Pauline, will you share with us?
Yes, well, that's a little bit on the spot. I keep tossing up between things, but I think I'll just stick with the first one that popped in my head. And, you know, I was married probably about 18 years ago, and we were married for about, 16, 17 years. And, you know, in our relationship, it's like what I know now, if I knew it back then, it would have been a lot different. And we were just really growing apart, but I didn't really have that awareness at that time. And we'd go to bed and, you know, I'd get the occasional tap on the shoulder, and I always joke and say, you know, because us ladies love that tap on the shoulder, not. Yeah. And, you know, so sometimes I would relent, and when we would have sex, I'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Why aren't we having sex more often? Mm-hmm. And that's when I started having the awareness that maybe things weren't right in our relationship. And then we finally broke up and he left. And it was quite traumatic and lots of tears and what am I going to do? I was going to be a single mother and how am I going to survive and all of that. And right in the middle of all this like insane turmoil, I started sort of like twitching around going, because I had these really weird sensations like from the hips down. And I was like, what's going on? And I realized in a penny drop that my libido had come back on steroids. And I'm
Oh,
like,
gosh. Yeah.
oh my God, I don't know what to do about this. The husband's gone. I'm as, I hope I can say it, as horny as, I don't know what to do about this. And then there was that little thing in my head that went, you've switched your libido off. I didn't know that that was the thing that you could do that. But it was also an awareness of, I'm not doing that ever again.
Yeah.
So it's funny on some levels, because it was just like, what the hell
Oh,
going
yeah.
on? I really did not know.
Yeah. You're like, what is that? Oh.
In the middle of me
Oh, I can
crying and
relate.
being hysterical, it was like timing. Thanks.
Yeah, I can totally relate though, because I'm single right now. I can relate. It's like it's been shut off before. So I love that. That's a great story. That's fantastic. And then it led you to help people. Yeah.
Yeah, unknowingly, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. Helen, I already know your story. I can't wait to hear you actually tell it to us today.
So one of the things that I use when I work with women is the power of meditation and also the power of nature. And I began this process a number of years ago because I was dealing with a lot of grief and I needed to figure out a way to just find some solace and some comfort. So I started going down to the water. I live in a very small town in New Hampshire, which is right by the lake. I do not have lakefront property, but I have access. So I started to go down to the water, particularly because I love to watch the sunrise and also because nobody was around that early. So I found one special spot that became my favorite spot. And there was a little tiny old wooden bridge and it went over a little marsh, but it had this beautiful view of the lake. And it was a little tricky because it was an old bridge and I think it might have sunk a little bit. So there were two very high steps to get up there. So, but one morning, I remember it was the 5th of September, 2 years ago. I remember that because it was right after Labor Day. And so there was nobody around and it was just so peaceful. So I climbed up those steps and I just stood on the bridge as I would often do in the morning. And I just closed my eyes and I just had my hands open. And I was about 10 minutes that way. And I never heard anything. I was just in such a peaceful state. And I opened my eyes. And for whatever reason, I didn't move. I just glanced down. And my first thought was, oh, there's a large dog next to me. And I thought, but then I realized that it was actually not a large dog at all. It was actually a large bear that was within 1 foot of me on this bridge. And I'm very grateful to say that he was not a baby because his mama would have beat me up. And he was not standing on his hind legs. He was literally, it looked as though he was just my meditating buddy. He was sitting on all fours within 1 foot of me and just looking out exactly at the same place that I was looking at. And my first reaction, honestly, because I just had come out of meditation, was this sense of awe. It was like, wow, there's a bear standing next to me. And then about 5 seconds later, it changed to, oh my God, there's a bear standing next to me. And I was my natural reaction would have been sort of a panic, but I knew that I had to be very cautious and I had to keep that high vibration because obviously he knew I was a human. Bears can smell humans. But for whatever reason, with that high vibration, he was just so pieced out. But I also knew I had to get off that bridge. And there was no way, I knew that you should never put your back to a bear, but there was no way I could back off because I would have fallen over those 2 steps. So I just very calmly turned around, walked off, and my car was parked right there. So I got into the car, and what I heard when I got into the car, I think he must have come out of his own meditation because all of a sudden I had never heard anything before. And I could hear him scratching his claws, running in the opposite direction. And what that also made me realize was that he had to actually, from the other side of the bridge, he had to climb up very carefully those 2 steps. And he was a chunky little fellow. It was a very narrow bridge. He actually had to turn around without making a noise and sidle up to me, but without ever touching me. And just stand there right next to me. It was so amazing. I am certainly not recommending this to any of your listeners. I was literally 5 minutes from the center of my town. I was not in some woods somewhere. It never occurred to me that there were a bear coming up to me. But I did realize it was also true proof of the power of meditation.
Oh yeah, I freaking love my story. Oh my gosh, I love it. I remember when I first heard you tell it, I was like, Excuse me, ma'am. That's a bear. But I love it. And I love how he was actually in connection with you. He really was in the same vibration. And then his little bear friends are probably like, hey, dude, that's a woman. That's a human. What are you doing? Oh my God.
I kind of imagined that when I heard him running the opposite way, I kind of imagined him going home to his mommy and saying, Mommy, there was some lady there, but she scared me. So I came home. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just happy we all had a happy ending.
Yes.
So,
oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Well, the story that I felt like I would share today kind of popped. I don't even know how it popped into my head. Someone said something in networking that I was in today, and stuff our kids say, and it brought back when my now 28-year-old son, he's gonna be like, thanks, Mom, for talking about me. He would have been, I think, first grade, I believe. And at that time, I had my dance studio, so I taught dance. That was my career, right? I danced forever. He was already on stage. He took dance classes and so forth as well. But when he went to school, he told his teachers, thank goodness they knew me, and his friends, yep, my mommy dances for money. And then we had neighbors that she used to be a Colts cheerleader. So we had this whole bond thingy. But anyways, her son did something very similar because she would walk down the street, right? Just walk around our nice neighborhood. And her husband sold pharmaceuticals. So her son, which used to dance with my son, would go to school and say, well, my mommy's a streetwalker and my daddy sells drugs. So we were like, well, Jaycie and that other family, we don't know what they got going on, but out of the mouths of babes. But they weren't totally wrong, just
no
the same way as you would think. And hey, when I'm in the dating world, as I am sort of kind of, I always am careful if I say, well, yeah, I was a dancer. I'm like, well, not that kind. I mean, that's okay, teach his own, but that wasn't me. Anyway. So let's go back around though, you guys. I love this. We could all sit here and chat all day, but I'm very adamant about keeping these episodes really short and brief so everybody has time in our busy lives to listen to these and to find a giggle, something that you can giggle or just hee-haw at and go share with your friends. And make sure if you're having fun, then either get over to cartwheelsandbananapeels.com, jump on, request to be a guest yourself, or share it with your friends. Share these stories because they're so relatable in so many ways. So, Monica, will you share with us how people can find you? And do you have something that you want to offer in particular today?
I do. And I will say that what got me out of that situation was community. And so I really believe in the power of coming together with like-minded people, feeling that you're supported. I am going to be doing a free challenge. I'm trying to think the date when this will be out. All right, let's do this. I'm going to actually share my Facebook group because I will repeat the challenge in there in case this podcast episode comes out after the challenge has happened. But the group is called International Spiritual Retreats and Events Collaboration and Promotion. And so as I was saying, it's a great place where you can come and share all of your events, whether they're in person or virtual or free or paid, because again, it's a great way to really connect with a like-minded community and also grow your own audience. I find that it's the best way to grow a business is through events and just by being able to connect with like-minded people. So everyone is invited. You can come and share all of your events and create some collaborations and connections with people that maybe can support you to spread the word about your event as well.
And I just want to say, Monica just recently started this group, but you guys, it's kind of like what Cartwheels and Banana Peels has been doing. It's gone like wild cakes. People are joining it right and left. It's so amazing. So super, super exciting. Super exciting. Definitely check it out. Of course, the actual link for that will be in our show notes. Okay. Pauline, your turn.
Hi, everyone. Yes, people can download a free ebook from my website, and it's 8 steps to more intimacy and better communication. So they just have to go to my website, paulineryeland.com, which I'm sure you will give out the correct spelling when you send all the details out. Yeah, so that's a free offer. You just subscribe. You will not be bombarded with emails. You'll get the odd email if you subscribe. Pretty rare.
And you guys, laughter releases dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin and endorphins, but so do
Yeah.
orgasms. So, hey, laughter and they go together. Not always at
And
the
have
same
you ever
time.
heard of a gigglegasm? Have you heard of a
The
gigglegasm?
gigglegasm. Oh, yes. So, yes, gotta have both in your life as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
Okay, Helen, your turn, my dear.
And you can just find me under my name, helenfernald.com. And I do have a free PDF that people can enjoy, which has tips on how to move from grief to acceptance and also joy. And I will have some more information about it. I have a forthcoming book coming out in the fall called, which is a series of letters that I wrote to my mother during 8 years after her sudden death. And it's just called Love, Helen. Thank you.
And I just have to say that if Helen can calm a bear, she can do anything.
Wow. Thank you.
I'm just saying. I'm like, not to make light of grief. I've had plenty of that in my life.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So, I wish there would have been some random person that would have, one of those times where a photographer gets the shot of his life, that would have been so amazing. Anywho, we just have to envision it, right? So I've already told you guys, of course, that, apply to be a guest, share cartwheels and banana peels. I do have a really cool program coming out, Stories on Fire. Part of what we do in this group program is that we do story circles, which is similar to sitting here at a virtual kitchen table and practicing your stories and just sharing and bonding with our entrepreneurial sisters and brothers. It's amazing. So anyway, super excited. I'm kind of giving you a little heads up because it's not released yet, but it's coming soon. So anyway, oh my gosh, you guys are so amazing. I'm so grateful that you sat here and shared your beautiful stories today with those edges of entertainment and humor, because that's what it's all about.
Thank you
all right,
so
guys.
much.
Oh, you are so super
Thank
welcome.
you. Very
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. You are way far away from me across the pond in Australia, like way across the pond, and you got up for us. So thank you.
I do have makeup on. Going to the gym with I told my trainer I'll be a bit glam when I come this morning because I'll have a full face makeup on because I'm doing a podcast.
Why are you looking so fancy? Just doing a workout. All right, you guys, we will catch you next time. Have an amazing day.
Thank you. Bye.